Well, it's summertime, and it's almost time for the Frequency Bone Summer Music Connection. But before I actually totally get into that, this is a pre-tape, if you will, to encourage people that summertime practice, even if you don't get into some festival, you can always have a great time. Yes, you can. You can listen to recordings you haven't listened to in a long time. You can practice things that maybe you haven't practiced in a while. Simple things. Yes, simple things. There's so much in the simple things. We're talking about things like things like that, where you play a short note at a mezzo-piano-ish dynamic and actually then take your mouthpiece off right away, and to feel what it's like to come back each time. And that actually has a certain therapeutic effect on one's playing, because it's forming what you've heard me say is the beak structure, this part in here, and having it come together. You can practice certain slurs you haven't done in a long time. You can practice different kinds of long tones. You can figure out a whole schedule to work on your endurance in a certain kind of way, where you have a light day, a heavier day, back to a light day, back to a heavier day. You can say, okay, today I'm working on articulations, coprash, arbans type things. Not real complicated stuff. Really to let yourself sink in to those first overlay, fundamental basics. And monitor your attitude during that time. I have a great time doing the simple little things like you just heard me do. Just because there's a synchrony involved. Things come together in that small space. And it feels like maybe it's this point in life where I'm feeling this, but I felt this actually for many, many years. Probably 20, 25 years. But your values and appreciations for things can grow during time, really dependent on your attitude. And so, that kind of playing, just to give an example, is very therapeutic because it increases the efficiency in your air and your embouchure. What a fun summer thing to do. In between taking a dip into the pool, come into the house and go. Notice I'm not taking a big breath. I know that's very uncommon in the brass world a lot of times. But the older I get, the better I seem to play with taking only as much air as needed. So the summer can be a time for other kinds of discovery because you're at your own schedule. Now, if you go to a music festival, some of them have an incredible amount of playing. I remember being at Tanglewood, and I was, as a student, even in the high school program, but later on in what was called the BMC, Berkshire Music Center, which is now Tanglewood Music Center, TMC. There was so much playing with big orchestra stuff, lots of contemporary orchestra stuff, chamber music. I remember some weeks I was busy all day long. Now I still warmed up, and I still made sure that I did some basic things that would hold my relationship with the horn intact. And plus would have my free expression times. I could play what I wanted to by myself without worrying about intonation and metronome type tempo, which isn't the only kind of tempo actually. And just kind of let things happen. Move out of the parameters that are set by our particular culture of playing and have that time. Now I still do all these things. When I was in the TMC was over 40 years ago. But those were important things. And so summer, people always say, have a great summer. Rarely do I hear people say, have a wonderful winter. Seems like the summertime in a lot of places, at least in the northern hemisphere. Well, no, in the southern hemisphere as well. It's just different when it occurs. But there's this feeling of everything's in bloom. Everything's out there. There's more space, it seems. And sometimes, if the temperature doesn't get too, overly hot, there's a lot of room. I used to do a lot of my practicing outside. So, what am I saying? I'm saying, make the most out of your time. Enjoy as much as you can. Getting into these small things, for they're not small. They render much. And in the small worlds lies the foundation for things much larger. For in actual fact, the small worlds should be called, how do I think about this? The small big worlds. And then there's the big small worlds. The physical world is the big small world. The subtler aspect of life is the small, big worlds. Practice your breathing in the summer. Discover. You might want to know, what exercises can I do? Oh, there's so many. I got an idea. Why don't you develop your own exercises in the summer? Realize that there's more than one way to breathe. Practice doing that. Maybe that'll feel good to you to take a huge breath. And then you might go and see if you can do that and feel the difference in the two. self-discovery. Good summertime practice.